Gilchrest, chair of the NARAL Pro-Choice Connecticut PAC, and I also want to thank our host for having us. It's good to be back. For some of you in the room, you know that I was the former executive director of NARAL Pro-Choice Connecticut, and I'm so happy we have Sarah, who is doing a fantastic job, so I'd also like to give Sarah a For people who know me, they also know I've had a few jobs since leaving NARAL, and one of them, right after NARAL, I worked on economic security issues, and so that really drove home to me that reproductive choice is an economic security issue. When women and families don't have access to reproductive health care, it really takes its toll on them financially. And shockingly enough, or not surprisingly, the very people who usually oppose abortion are the same people who oppose child care subsidies. I would see them trolling many of the same blogs once I moved over to that job. After that, I then took a job at Connecticut Alliance to End Sexual Violence, and I now am at the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And I bring those two positions up because we often hear in this debate that we can have protections, no abortion except in the case of a woman's health, or if she has been the victim of sexual assault. Well, I don't know if you know how hard it is to prove sexual assault, not only in this state, but in the country. And in the state of Connecticut, it actually took 2 years for us to pass an affirmative consent policy. And so lawmakers really struggled with what it meant to have two partners agreeing to consensually have sex. And so when we talk about that policy, it's easier said than done. Now when I go out, my role at the Domestic Violence Coalition is to train health professionals on the screening, assessment, and referral for intimate partner violence. And over and over again, I met with healthcare providers who are just really uncomfortable having that conversation, except the providers at Planned Parenthood, who are incredibly trained to understand these dynamics and these issues. And so, that's just horrendous what's happening. The other thing, there's a term called birth control sabotage. We don't even need a term for it because I'm sure everyone in the room has known an individual who had their partner pressure them or force them to have sex without protection. And so that usually isn't included when we're talking about protections for women's health. Finally, I just think that, ever since leaving that position, reproductive choice is an equality issue. It's a women's equality issue, and we need elected officials who will respect that right for women. And so as PAC of the NARAL Pro-Choice, or as chair of the NARAL Pro-Choice Connecticut PAC, we will be seeking out candidates who are unapologetically pro-choice. The good thing about pro-choice is that it is a choice, and so if you don't want to use birth control or you don't want to get an abortion, you don't have to. But we don't need folks who will push their beliefs on us. And so we are going to be seeking out candidates who value the pro-choice position and who will vote for the pro-choice position. If you're interested in getting involved, please see myself or Sarah, and we're certainly always looking for donations. Thank you.